Hi everybody, Pat Huntoon here with Technique Junkies, and today I'm going to be making the Joy to the World card that you saw in the beginning of this tutorial. And it just uses 3 inks, a stamp set and 2 stencils along with some blending brushes. So let's get started. It's actually pretty easy. We are actually starting with the Treeline Edger 3 stencil from Colorful Life Designs, and it comes in 2 parts. And we're using Treeline Edger 1 stencil, and again it comes in 2 parts, both from Colorful Life Designs. I'm moving 1 out of the way, and I'm going to go to 3. And what I'm doing is I'm starting with the top of the Treeline Edger, and you can use pixie spray to do this. This time out, I'm just going to use some tapes because I'm going to move them around a lot further on into the tutorial. So I'm just going to use some tape. So I'm starting with the top part, and I'm going to start by pushing ink down. So I am taking Spruce from Catherine Pooler, and that is in the Zen Garden and Spa collection. And I'm going to put some ink on my brush and literally just push that ink down. And you don't get fingerprints or use a light touch and a circular motion, and you don't get brush marks. See how I'm avoiding the brush marks by doing that? Very light hand on that. And I would like to make this color the deepest of all the colors. So I am actually going over this twice and paying attention to the top of the trees because I would like the top of my trees to be the darkest. So that's pretty well blended on there. And I'm going to remove the Treeline Edger, and I'm going to find the bottom of the edger. So I am taking the bottom of the edger and I'm going to mask off those trees. Okay, I'm going to take one more small piece of tape. This is purple tape. I got it off of Amazon. You can get a pack of 3. It's reasonably priced, but I really like the purple tape. I think it works well for holding down your paper, and it's not very expensive. So, all right, so the next color I'm going to use is Seafoam. And I know this seems like an odd color choice, but look how beautifully these work together. They work together very, very nicely. I'm going to take the Seafoam, and I'm going to take the top again. But now I want to make sure that I wipe this top part off. Okay, I want it nice and clean. And I'm actually going to turn it over. So I flipped it over. I have the other side, and I don't want it to be perfectly aligned with these, and I actually want it to be a little bit lower. Okay, and again, a little tape on these, and you know, it probably would have been easier if I used pixie spray, but I didn't this time around. But for you, it might be easier. Okay, so I want to put the ink in between where the edges are. And you'll see in a minute how nicely these colors work together. This is a much lighter color, so I'm going over this a few times just to make sure I really get a good inking on this. Okay. See how nice those 2 colors look together? I'm going to put that back under there and actually add a couple of more trees, using this opposite side here, if I can, not interrupt the other, or not get maybe one there. And I'm not doing this very scientifically. I'm just keeping that bottom on. And maybe one kind of on the side there. And I'll make this one a little lighter so it almost looks like it's behind the other tree, which it is. You're trying to create a depth of field here. Maybe one little tree there. Make sure if you're going to do it this way that you hold it down nice and firm. Okay, so I have my first 2 group of trees there. And next, I'm going to be taking Twilight, which is a light gray. This is in the Neutrals collection. And I'm going to take this gray and the top, I'm going to take this gray and the top of the Treeline Edger 1. Okay, so just the top. And I am going to have that go down like that. And again, I want to keep this as covered. It doesn't really matter that much because the gray will just blend into the other colors. And I'm going to just go down and then very lightly over the other colors if they're not masked off. Go on that. I'm actually going to remove this one, I think, just so I was trying to avoid that. So I want to lightly make sure I don't have any white spots showing. Edger back on there. It's more important that I don't get the gray over the beyond the tree line up above. So this is a distant tree line I'm creating here. And you saw I only went up to there because on this side, I am going to go up. Okay, so now I have my tree lines on there. Now, I want to show you something that I did here because I don't like what I did. You see how I went over that tree and the tree line you can see through there? There's a way to fix that. Putting the top of the tree line edger on there. If I can figure out which tree it was, that helps. I flipped it over. Okay, and I'd like to go back to the sea foam. Just go over that tree one more time, just to darken and blend in where I went over the tree there. Do you see how it, you see the difference between this tree, which still shows it, and that one, which doesn't? You just want to blend that out so it doesn't look like it's quite so added on there. And I'll find this tree, which I think is here. And I'll just do the same thing. I'll just darken that a little bit. Okay. So now I have the tree lines covered up, and we can just add the sentiment. So I am using SS142 Light of Faith set of 4. I'm using the Joy of the World sentiment that's on there, and I'm going to be using the spruce ink. Okay, so I've stamped that on there using my stamp positioner. Now I want to show you one more thing. One of the things I have really been enjoying about the Catherine Pooler inks is how I can create my own custom matching paper with this. And it's just been so wonderful to do. So I'm going to take that same spruce, the darkest color, and just pull it along the back of the cardstock here. And create my own color of spruce cardstock. This is just for the background and the behind, so I want to make sure I get those edges well. And when that dries, I'll be mounting that on here. And I don't know if you can see how beautifully, because it's the same ink, that all matches. So that is our tutorial today. So these Treeline Edgers are a great addition to your stamping tools. You can really do so much with them, and they're so pretty. They give you such a beautiful depth of field. That's just one piece of paper. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube and consider subscribing to the Technique Junkies YouTube channel. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching today. Bye now.